impressions of Aari as a player before this, and what she can add to your team?
Yeah, I mean, always been impressed with her ability to defend, her activity level on the defensive end of the floor, her ability to get to the paint and make decisions once she gets there. She's a true point guard, so she brings that energy, she brings that the ability to dictate, and she's been really good so far. I mean, it's a lot of information to absorb quickly, and she's done a great job with it.
What was Sid able to do today?
Sid participated in everything today, so now it'll just be we see how she recovers from this and make sure there's no setbacks.
What do you need to do to get Aari up to speed? Is there a specific coach that's working with her, or how does that process?
Yeah, I mean, all of us really. Austin working with her a little bit, just watching the offensive film, Bree the defensive film. We met with her when she got in town, going over everything. We got to keep it simple when she's out there. We can't do everything, so honing in on 3 or 4 plays, 3 or 4 actions that we can get her going with, and then allowing her to be her. She sets the tone on the defensive end of the floor, and we need that.
How do you anticipate her fitting into the lineup rotation tomorrow with only, I guess, a day of practice?
Yeah, I mean, she's got to play. She's brought in here to play, to handle the ball. We'll do a good job of keeping it simple for her. But she's a player. I mean, this is what she does. She's a point guard. She absorbs information quickly. She's been watching the film, and what she's been able to do in practice already has been very good.
You add a player mid-season like this, you find it's harder to get them up to speed or get everybody else up to them, if that makes sense, like getting them to fit with their style?
I think a combination of both. You've got to do a really good job of figuring out what you can run offensively, particularly when it's a point guard, right? With them involved in the action and who we're looking for and what, and then everybody else learning to read and play off of her. She's a different type of point guard and ball handler than Sid and Caitlin. She's different off the bounce than Kelsey, and so just learning where she's going to find you, how she's going to find you, and what to expect.
When we talked to you last week, you talked about without Caitlin, this is an opportunity to work on your depth. Not quite.
Yeah.
Maybe what you were thinking at that point.
Yep.
But how would you describe where you're at with your team and the injuries that have kind of taken place?
Yeah, I mean, certainly an opportunity to work on with our depth, and then when that goes out and you're limited from a perimeter position, it makes things a little bit more difficult. We've kind of tweaked the way that we're running some things offensively. We'll try to get AB more involved and get her more touches. I mean, she's been incredibly efficient. She's got to be a focus for us to get her the ball. We've got to make sure that we're simplifying now on the defensive end of the floor with our limited numbers on the perimeter in terms of ball screen defense. But still, I think any time that you're hit with adversity, it gives you an opportunity to grow through it. I'd rather be hit with this now in May, allow us to grow through it from not just an execution standpoint, but a toughness standpoint, a mental toughness as well as physical toughness standpoint, and be better from it.
Can you utilize AB as a hub like you talk about, or is that kind of out the window a little bit given the current circumstances?
I think we can in a different way. It might not always be reversing through her. It might be, using her as a hub from the low block, using her as a hub if she's bringing the ball down the floor. I mean, Washington is going to hassle our guards 94 feet, and they have the depth at the perimeter position to do that. So AB is going to have help us bring the ball up the floor and get us into offense.
Maybe a random question, but Pacers going to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Just maybe your analyst hat for a moment.
Yeah.
How do you see this?
Yeah.
With your blue and gold colored glasses?
I think it's going to be so fun. I mean, talking about two fast teams want to get out and play, 2 deep teams, right? So quality, depth, but production, I think, from the depth. Superstars are going to give you what they give you. How much production do you get from those guys that are coming off the bench? I think that's going to be a key.
Oh, man. I was very anxious. Like, it felt weird, sitting at home, just watching the games this time of the year. But when I got the call, I was very excited, very blessed, and it was a humble experience to join a team like the Fever. And I'm just excited, and I'm ready to compete and just win.
In what ways are you trying to acclimate yourself so quickly here?
Watching film, seeing what the players do, the system they run, their coverages. So, I mean, it's a quick turnaround, but, I'm up for the challenge. That's a part of being a pro, just being ready for just anything. And so I'm ready to add my competitiveness, my speed, and just my will to win.
What have been kind of your early impressions about both the coaching staff and this new group that you're working with now?
Yeah, just by talking to the coaches and players, just to be confident in yourself and your game, and just playing free and just to just take what the defense gave you. So I feel like they made it very easy and just simplified everything for me.
What was it like going through this first practice, just knowing tomorrow you kind of have to play?
I was a slight bit anxious, but again, it was my first day. I wasn't trying to overthink because that's when turnovers happen or you just mess up. But just constantly playing, just not thinking too much and just calling what I'm comfortable with. But the girls did a great job of just cheering me on and being very accepting and welcoming.
How much did your instincts kick in?
A lot. My instincts kicked in a lot. I didn't want to do too much, but just playing, just going out there, having fun, and just being free.
Another lefty in the mix.
Yeah.
An area around. What do you think she's going to bring to you guys?
I think a big defensive presence, scrappy, confident, get downhill, kind of like everything we need right now just to kind of get a sense of energy, a sense of downhill, spacing, all that kind of stuff. I think she just kind of fits in on every angle, so I can appreciate her being here.
Ask her a lot, and there's a lot of her trying to fit in with you guys. What do you guys have to do to blend with what she brings?
I think it's just reading and reacting. I think the one thing that we've all been struggling with lately is just making conscious decisions unconsciously. I think that we've been overthinking a bit in every aspect the last couple of games, and I think hopefully A brings in that sense of confidence for us not to think and make the right play on behalf of everybody else and be confident making the play. And so I think her energy is going to kind of make that different for us now.
Steph has talked about the need to simplify everything. To you, what does simplify mean within this group in the short term?
I think, like what I just said, a combination of making the right play but keeping it simple and not overthinking. I think too, I've been kind of overthinking the process a bit on just making, the right play. And I think the right play is always the simple one. So to her point, I think we have to just kind of hone in on keeping it simple. But I do think that you got to get the reps to keep doing it. So here's to practice.
You've talked a lot about discipline too in these past games. Just what have you guys been doing to kind of hone in on that discipline and trying to build it up?
I think that in practice lately we've been on a conscious effort of playing high up tempo, high impacted practices, adding, mixing in different things to make us play at a high level and then be able to slow it down because I think that's how it is in the game. I think that, we have to get back to allowing practice to be really game-like as much as possible. And so I think discipline is a part of that. And so this week was all about making sure that we had in-game speed like we would if we were playing a true game. And so that's been our maturation for this week. So we'll see.
Kelsey, looking at your numbers over the years, June
Yeah.
has always been a really good month for you. Is there something to that, maybe taking a few games to get going, but once you kind of heat up?
Oh, man, I better be getting my SHIT together. That's what I tell you, Pat. I want to be sharp ready, man. I want to be confident. And I think, obviously lately it's kind of been rocky. But I think that for me, the more games that you get under your belt, the more, you just got to keep finding a rhythm, keep finding a way to, stay confident as you see. And I'm grateful that games come so consistently so you don't get a chance to dwell. And so I think, the month of June will be good for all of us.
It seems like if you get one game going,
yeah, I hope so. Hey, Pat, I like the way you think, man. I really do. Just kind of just want to get a rhythm. It's not really just scoring. It's about kind of just being able to play and be a hooper. And I think for me, that's, it's always what I've been. And so I think as the games go in June, I'll be able to find that rhythm that I need to go hoop, really. And I think everything else will come after. So I'm excited.
Kelsey, the other team you share the building with, is going to the NBA Finals. How exciting is that for you guys to see? And
oh, man.
What's your take on this series with OKC?
I'm actually grateful, and it's going to sound really crazy, but I sit and learn a lot of, stuff from those guys. I'm grateful that they get us tickets to the game because it's different seeing in person. And I grow to appreciate how players are made as they get into the playoffs because they do it so effortlessly. And I think that's where our next maturation is, that's the Fever. And so I'm grateful that I get to kind of be close to this and be able to see those guys really dialing the win. And I think 1 through 14 too. So Andrew, TJ, those guys just do it so well and they just make the necessary play to win. And so it's admirable for real, because no one ever really thought the Pacers would do anything, so to speak, and so they're here. So I'm excited to kind of see it. I'm grateful to be around it because I'm learning a lot of stuff. So it's exciting.